What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the GITM podcast, formerly Ghost in the Night, where we discuss the paranormal, the true crime, the occasional conspiracy
stuff,
and some dangerous topics such as tonight that could get us, if not taken off the air, could get us 86th.
I wouldn't be surprised if at least this episode ends up getting taken down.
But
Disney does that shit too.
We will give it a shot anyway. I know what Spotify won't take it down on the podcast feed, so
we'll put it on Rumble if YouTube takes it down.
If you are listening to this on your favorite podcast app, be sure to head on over to the YouTube page and be sure to join us on the live stream where we record each and every episode. It is in the description or in the show notes description, whatever you want to call it. The link there. So,
and then the stereotypical YouTube shit. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow.
We are helpless. So before we...
It does. That's the problem. Getting interaction's the hard part.
That's true.
We need more CTAs, call to actions.
I got action they could all call to. If you're new to the podcast, we talk a lot of shit before we get started, so fast forward 20 minutes if you don't want to listen to us bullshit. But what kind of... You want to give them a little...
Fucking... Go ahead. I clicked on a notification. It's that same notification from Instagram that I clicked last week where it's just like, your da-da-da is uploading in the background. Da-da-da. And then it opens Instagram, and these stupid fucking Instagram pages that I follow, is that what they're called? Profiles? I follow them for the morally questionably funny videos that they post, but all of them end up partnering with fucking OnlyFans girls. And they post little oh, look at my butt cheeks videos, which sounds great and all, but that's not what I'm on that particular piece of internet.
What else is Instagram for?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah. Some of my favorite things are on Instagram, like the Instagram page, Kids Getting Hurt. I think I've told you about that one. It's hilarious. It's never you're not seeing kids get their fingers cut off or break their legs. It's always fucking toddlers running headfirst into the sliding glass door or face planting off the end of a slide. And it's the best. It's not the kids getting hurt necessarily that's super funny. It's hearing the parents go, oh shit. And then every once in a while, if it's a really good thump and the kid cries, then they run it back in slow-mo so you get to hear the impact, and then you get to hear the slow-mo when the kid starts to cry, and it makes me happy.
Well, that's disturbing in itself.
Yeah.
So, fast forward if you don't like this shit. If you don't like this shit, fast forward, and we'll get to the topic. I don't even know what you named this episode. What did you name this episode?
I don't know. It was a long one. I know that. Very clickbaity.
Hey, we gotta do what we got to.
It is Scientology exposed in caps. The truth behind the secrets they don't want you to know, in quotation or in parentheses, and it's hilarious.
Man, that is a mouthful.
Because as fucked up as this shit gets, there's some pretty funny aspects to it.
Well, of course there is. Yeah. So before we get started, anything else have you been following the Diddy thing?
They allegedly found a tunnel between one of his properties and Michael Jackson's. One of Michael Jackson's. You didn't hear that?
No,
yeah, I just heard that.
I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Huh.
I feel like that's a bit much.
That's
far-fetched to me.
That is, I don't want to say hard to believe. It seems a little overboard.
Yeah. What do you need a tunnel for?
I mean,
why don't you just take one of your 7 Maybachs?
I don't know the layout of the neighborhood in which they lived. Are they next door neighbors?
Right.
I mean,
in which case, why do you need a tunnel? Just walk next door.
And even if you had to tunnel, didn't they had to go through, or not through, but under other residents? Wouldn't they know something's going on? Oh, it is California. Just another earthquake.
Yeah.
So, but
or this the boiled egg test. Did you hear about that?
No.
That Suge Knight exposed this whole thing because there's also a picture of Russell Brand and Diddy, and Russell Brand just got an egg, he like kisses at one point, and they say that Russell Brand may have been involved in some Diddy parties.
Who hasn't in that?
I mean, I went to like 5.
No, you didn't.
I passed the boiled egg test. That's for sure.
I mean, I think just because you were at one of the parties does not make you guilty of being a freak.
Ashton Kutcher's really trying to do some fucking preemptive shit with that.
I wonder. I've heard that she's filing for divorce and left him.
Mila Kunis?
Yeah, I now wonder if that's actually true.
Well, she found out what he was doing to Diddy. But yeah, no, apparently, like, he's talking about how, like, him and Diddy became friends, and, like, he's trying to get ahead of the buck and be like, I was not a part of any of this shit.
Let's be honest with good old Ashton. Where did he get his start?
That 70s show?
No, before that. He was a model. Who was he a model for?
What, Sean John?
No.
Who?
Abercrombie and Finch, or whatever that is.
Well, and
who owned that?
I don't fucking know.
Lex West, I think it's Lex Wessner or whatever his name is.
The Victoria's Secret guy?
Yeah, he owned that too. And who was he behind?
Ashton Kutcher, apparently.
Well, the Mr. Epstein.
Oh.
So, you know.
Your mom's here.
Well, hello, Mother. Thank you for joining us.
There's moisture on my sock. I don't like it. Maybe I got sweaty feet.
It's possible. Yeah, so he's screwed. It'll be interesting to see. Like I said, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? The cameras have worked for quite a long time.
Oh, so allegedly this boiled egg test is if Diddy or one of his accomplices were to insert this egg into a man's butthole, then if it were to break, they were not prepared enough for the
what's about to come.
That means two
figuratively
things.
And literally.
For the forthcoming events of butthole. But yeah, the tunnel thing is a little far-fetched.
Yeah, that seems just a little bit too much.
I feel like tunnels to places is just kind of a throwaway conspiracy for anything you're talking about. Every haunted hospital has tunnels, which is more plausible because it's like that's where you wheel the deads. But like, if you think about it, there's always tunnels and there's always something. What's the word I'm looking? What's a good word? Shitty connected to them.
You can't go wrong with shitty.
Yeah,
never can go wrong with
something maleficent or malicious. Maleficent's a fucking character. I'm taking it back.
Yeah,
like the fucking racist scene from Clerks. Have you ever seen Clerks?
I've seen it, but like a long time.
Did you not love it?
It was. I remember liking it, but I couldn't.
I figured Clerks would be up your alley.
I liked it, but it just wasn't one of those. I like pretty much anything he does.
Oh yeah, Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Except for the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
It was just like I'm like, you made the same fucking movie. They just have their kids with them. Yes. Or he has his kid, who is actually Kevin Smith's kid in real life.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not a movie I can quote from. Because it's been so long.
Clerks, to an extent, I can. Jay and Silent Bob, I can quote like a motherfucker.
I mean, you don't get, honestly, Jay and Silent Bob, you don't get any better than that. And then what was the other one? Was it Dogma he did?
Dogma.
That was
Chasing Amy.
Dogma was it's still one of my favorite all-time movies.
Mallrats.
I was not a big fan of Mallrats.
I thought Mallrats was funny just because of Jay and Silent Bob's little like scenes every once in a while. Jay and Silent Bob might be two of the best characters ever written.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
And he also played Pete Jones in Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Ever seen that?
No, that I have not
You've
seen.
never... Dude, you have to see that fucking movie. Oh my God, that movie's funny. He does. He comes up... They're like casting their porno that they're making to try to make money to save their apartment and shit. Mm-hmm. And Jay Muse, who plays Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, comes up and he says... Okay, and it's Seth Rogen. He's what's your porn name? And he said, Lester the molester, cock and stuff. And he said, oh my God, that's the best porn name of all time. He said, whoa, we can have porn names? I want to be Pete Jones.
Oh, yeah.
You've never seen? Oh, I can't believe you've never seen that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've never seen Mallrats.
He said that girl frosted me like I was a fucking cake.
Anyway.
I'm going to find Zach and Mary make a porno on stream, and you're going to watch it.
We will get to Scientology in just a moment. I'm just dragging this out because I'm scared.
Worst case scenario, they take down our YouTube channel that has no following.
I'm worried about the assassins that are coming for us in the AM. Tom Cruise lowering down from the ceiling, balancing on the wire.
Yeah, and we have a traditionally heighted residential ceiling, so that better be pretty good wire work, because that's a long fall for his little ass. Yeah. That's basically like... he's lucky they're good at camera on-screen magic and like angles and giving him platform shoes and shit.
Step stool.
Dude. It's literally like Mission Impossible, all that shit. Like, okay, what? Like, oh, you're getting fucking... How hard is it to chase down and capture the elf on the shelf?
Yes, that's true. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We promise. But we do have to apologize for being a day or two late.
There's reasons.
Yes, there is. We have a new decoration to the podcast. We have lost a member of the cast.
We have.
Chalupa Cabra is no longer with us.
The Chalupa, formerly known as Layla, she did have a proper Christian name at one point before I came along.
She's no longer here.
She's not.
She went to that farm upstate and is just running with other dogs.
She crossed the Rainbow Bridge.
Yep. She passed away.
Chihuahua. She passed a bridge. She crossed a bridge legally into a better place.
Yes, she did. I mean, she for a long time, she was our most...
If you look at it that way, she did what she was meant to do.
She
crossed a border into a better place.
Hopefully,
she's gonna go.
God has not built a wall.
She's gonna be in heaven eating Haitians.
But for a long time, she was our most popular TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Until Trump and Tyler the Creator took over.
Fuck them for taking over Chalupa's reign as our top view.
She really was. She was, I think, hands down, our most popular TikTok there for a while.
We had her. She will be here on the set she is with us in spirit. Gotta love that. Was
the only way she can be here.
She was a good dog though. She was.
Well, it's kind of hard to be a bad dog when you're that small too.
I mean, let's be honest. I don't like people.
She was all right.
But I like that dog.
She didn't like me very much.
Well, she was old.
I think I was too big for her. She loved better half. She'd actually get out of bed for her.
Yeah.
And follow her into my room and shit. When I came home, she'd just be like, shut up about it.
You know, and
close the door. It's chilly.
I will say this about losing a pet. A cherished, loved pet. It's like we talked about this a little bit last night.
So waiting for you to be like, it's not that bad.
It's all right. It's different. It's different when you take a dog to be put down because they're ill. Because you get that final goodbye.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking them to their execution.
walking a mile, walking the green mile.
But when you wake up and there's a lifeless body there, that's a whole nother fucking thing. That's a different kind of, oh shit.
I will have to say, I would posit that it is better than going to sleep when there's a lifeless body there.
That's true. I mean, because...
From a moral standpoint.
Just for the... So everybody's included into the...
She was a ripe old age of 2.
No, she was pushing 14. She was about 2 months short of her 14th birthday.
Quitter.
But Chalupa slept with me a lot of the times. If I slept in the bed.
Yeah. I launched her little ass one time when she slept in my bed.
Well, it's on accident. It's not that far off the ground.
Dude, she was laying on the blanket, and like I rolled over and took the blanket with me, and I just heard her go, ah! And I looked over and I saw her tiny little body just like flying into the darkness.
But so she had not been doing well for about a week, probably.
Mm-hmm. She hasn't been doing well since I met her.
But the past week, we knew something was coming because she quit eating. She was not eating. But what was weird, that's a sign that the dirt nap's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But the day she passed away, or the day technically she passed away in the morning, overnight, but she actually ate something. So I was like, we're turning the corner. But like what I was saying before,
that was just her like trying to get one last one in. She was like, I know I go and shit my pants when I die. I gotta get you. I'm gonna leave you with a story you'll never forget.
But like I was saying before, it's a different animal when you.
It is a different animal. In fact, it is a whole different substance.
When you literally find your dog for basically 14 years dead, and she's in bed next to you.
Did you get new sheets?
Yeah, I washed them, but they're not going to make the.
They're not going to make the cut?
No, I don't think so.
Just make this an opportunity to treat yourself. Get some nice, like, Egyptian cotton sheets.
Oh, but it's just to tell the story, because I got up. She always slept by my feet, or behind me. Down closer from knee to feet, somewhere in that range.
Yes, the V, where most dogs inconveniently choose to lay.
So I got up in the morning to go to work, to do my thing, get ready to go to work, got out of bed, brushed my teeth. And I said, all right, Layla, let's go outside. And I could see where she was laying, because there was a little mound right there, and she didn't move. I was like, Jesus Christ, Layla, come on, let's go. I ain't got all day. I got another great Clydesdale to take out. And she didn't move.
Dummy.
So I pulled the covers back. I was like, oh, shit. This is not good.
We got meat for the freezer.
She does not sleep in this position. And it literally looked like she was walking and just fell over. Legs were stretched out on her side. I was like, oh, no. Then what do we do? So I had to remove the dog from the bed.
A little carcass cleanup.
I was like, but that is much, I don't care what anybody says, that's much harder than just taking a dog to the vet to put him down. When you actually, because at least you have that final moment with them.
Why am I reaching for that when my drink is right here?
So, that's why we were late. We lost the mascot.
We lost
of the
a
show.
family member.
We lost the mascot of the show.
It's a nice box, though.
It is. I paid extra.
Nice little wood burn box.
I paid extra for that.
I'm still pissed. Right before we started this thing, everybody missed the zinger. I thought it was hilarious.
What?
When I said that I thought it would be a bigger box, and you said it's probably mostly air, and it was like a fucking bag of chips.
Yeah, a little shrinkflation.
She's a chalupa, now she's a bag of Doritos.
A little shrinkflation. Of course, I've often wondered about this crematorium stuff, the cremation.
From what I hear, it's not a guarantee that it's all your dog.
Well, hey, I paid for the private.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Because they did do an option where, communal, and then they just spread their ashes in what they called the garden. Probably, let's be honest, it's called their garden is
the backyard,
the trash can,
or like the patch of grass next to the smoking section out back.
So I paid for the private. I spared no expense. Even bought her the nice urn.
I just thought about
Upgrade.
It's kind of dark, but it's kind of funny in my mind because she was so small. Like, I'd imagine they only have one size of cremation chamber. So, like, all I saw in my head was, like, the cremation guy being like, oh, poor thing, on this big-ass slab. And he, like, slides it in like he normally would, and it stops, and she just goes off the end of it.
That's so wrong. But, so, I do wonder how much of hers in there, or if any of there's something in there. We know that.
They took it out back with them on their smoke breaks, and it's just full of like Marlboro ashes and like a fucking Walgreens receipt.
I mean, let's be honest. All this is for, just like funerals for human beings, it's all for the living.
Yeah, she don't give a fuck.
She don't give a fuck no more.
I think cremation's the way to go, though.
Oh, I plan to be cremated. Now, I'm going to tell my children or my significant other when I pass, which could be you. So I might as well tell you, I'm to be cremated, and you are to join our ashes together.
That's it.
Yeah, that fucker in there, fuck him. It make me look fat in the urn.
I'm trying to think of what stupid ass urn I could put you guys in. Put you in like a tall boy of Bud Light with like one of those little Corona Rita bottles.
I think it's going to have to be a keg. If you've not seen me, I don't think I'm going to fit.
I don't know. It seems like human bodies break down pretty small.
Okay. All right. I say
from what I've seen, I don't know how the distribution of human ashes.
Never seen the process done myself, but
we're gonna have to take a field trip.
I don't think so. I'm good.
I'd do it. I would do it.
Let's crack open this can of pure naughtiness and pure shenanigans and silliness.
I had La Cucaracha pulled up just in case you wanted to have a moment of silence.
No.
I even found a sad version of it. It's stupid as fuck.
There will be a montage short coming at some point.
Oh, Chalupa?
Yes.
Is there any with her in the background just doing her weird little scream that she did?
Oh, I'm sure.
That's how I explained how stupid she was, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, just can't think of a better way to say that. Like, her brain was actually underdeveloped to an extent.
But she made up for it in personality.
Yeah, she did. The little bitch. I've never met a dog that gave a stank eye so serious. I think it's because her eyes were like 2/3 of the size of her head.
She could get some side eye now.
Well, yeah, because one of them was always sideways anyway.
All right, let's dive into this.
All right,
and remember, Chalupa's watching, so be on your best behavior.
We should have brought put a taco on there. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll see if when I do these
on top of it.
When I go do these little pottery painting things with Better Half, because we actually just did one. Did a fucking sword.
For the people listening on the podcast, this is a good excuse for you to go to the YouTube channel. Just saying. And see this fine
I bet you
I paid extra for.
I'm going to do something for. I'm going to see if I can find it. There's a little sombrero I can paint. Or there's always like sugar skulls and shit like that. I think there's a rattlesnake with a sombrero.
Okay.
That'd be perfect. It would match her personality and her nationality. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That fucking crossing the border joke was gold. That was a good one. All right. Where's my mouse? All right, we're gonna talk about a lot. I'll be honest, I don't know if we're gonna get into this. I do have a couple decent stopping points if we need to break this into two, which I'm sure you won't bitch about because that means that you get 2 weeks off of having to do an episode.
Oh, sweet. I say we break this off into 3.
We might be able to by the time we're done. So we're gonna start. The year is 1911.
1911.
It's a great gun. 45 caliber. Pew pew. Fucking gat smoke wagon. So we're going to talk. This is March 13th, 1911 in Tilden, Nebraska, as we have the birth of Lafayette Ronald Hubbard.
His first name was Lafayette?
Yes. Like the gay vampire.
I was just thinking that. And I like
the most badass one. I love that Lafayette, the gay black dude from True Crime, just beat the true whatever. Would just like bitch slap everybody. He was my favorite character.
He was the best character on that whole show.
So good. And he was like so perfectly gay.
And I don't think he was gay in real life. That was some brilliant acting.
Well, I mean, if we want to get real technical, you don't have to be that good at acting gay. I've met a lot of gay people who you wouldn't go fucking gay for sure.
Yeah, he took the he played it stereotypical.
But I did. I loved him. I think, as stupid as it's going to sound, he very much reminded me of my gay black friend, who also rest in peace. He is also moved on to the other side. He's one of my best friends in high school. I lived with him for a short period of time. He was fucking hilarious. Wasn't out in high school. Very aggressive. People be like, "You F slur," and he'd like fucking punch him in the head, and I'm like, "Hell yeah, sister!" And then Fast forward to a couple years later, we lived together, and like he was out of the closet, and he was just like Lafayette, but more not flamboyant, but just louder. Like I'm talking, this cat would come out of his room in the morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning, wearing a do-rag, smoking a Black and Mild on his phone in his silky Playboy bunny pajamas, a wife beater, and his new Louis Vuitton belt that he had just bought that was definitely a knockoff, but he was wearing it just because he had no other reason to wear it at that time, and he just bought it.
I respect it.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, Lafayette.
So Lafayette Ronald Hubbard, soon to be known as L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, that's where the L comes from. I just made that connection. I'm a little slow. Hey, I lost a dog. Fuck off. And had a stroke.
Fair enough. So, L. Ron Hubbard, he was the son of Harry Ross Hubbard. That sounds like...
That sounds dirty.
It does. That sounds like code for a dick. Like a industrial revolution dick. Hey there, flapper lady. You want to see my Harry Ross Hubbard?
I like it.
Can I introduce my Harry Ross Hubbard to your Lafayette?
There we go.
He was a U.S. Navy officer, and his mother's name was Ladora May Waterbury Hubbard. Remember the Waterbury Open?
No.
The claim to fame of young Happy Gilmore?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So he moved a lot due to his dad's military career and spent part of his youth in Montana and later lived in Asia, where he claimed to have studied Eastern philosophy.
Claimed.
Yes, just like Jesus. Are we starting to see the connections? He was a Boy Scout.
That tracks.
He became the youngest Eagle Scout in U.S. history at age 13, according to the Church of Scientology's records.
I'm sure they have no reason to lie to us.
I take this information, I refer you back to, last week or the week before that or so, where we pointed out that apparently, according to North Korean records, Kim Jong-il created the burrito in like 2002 or some shit like that.
Right. Before we go any further, I forgot.
Dead dog.
We got a dead dog. We're doing Scientology. I just want to say the views expressed on this podcast are those of Travis, not me. I do not want.
What are you talking about? Any Scientological person brings this up to their higher ups, and they're like, they're slandering us. They're gonna be like, they're gonna get hit.
I don't.
And they're gonna be like, who gives a fuck?
I don't want Mr. Miscavige and,
got a whole section
and Maverick coming after me.
I got a whole section on him.
I do not. Hey, you do you guys.
Muscavige Patch Kid.
This is all Travis. Nothing but respect for you and the aliens. Continue.
So, yes, at 13, he was the youngest Eagle Scout in U.S. history. Again, according to the church's records. He claimed to have traveled extensively as a teenager, including to China and Japan, and developed an interest in philosophy and the human mind.
Now, did he travel to these places due to his father's naval career?
I know, right? They didn't go into that.
And I was not aware there was a naval base in Montana. Didn't you say he lived in Montana for a while?
That's exactly what they want you to think.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know Montana had a coastline.
Helicopters.
I mean, I didn't see that in Yellowstone.
Training.
Okay.
Swamps. I don't think those are in Montana either. You could probably do water-based training to an extent.
I just know, the only thing I know about Montana is from Yellowstone.
Maybe his dad was working at that secret facility nobody knows about that's in the side of the mountains.
Okay.
Later on in his life, he attended George Washington University, and this was 1930, where he studied civil engineering, but left after 2 years without earning a degree. Joined the club. His academic records showed mediocre grades, but he claimed to have had a profound interest in science and exploration during this period. Then why the fuck did you go to school for civil engineering? Haven't you seen Pineapple Express?
No.
He's not going to be a civil engineer. I'm going to design little bathrooms for playgrounds. Little kids can take shits.
I will not see that movie.
You've never seen that movie?
I don't like either one of those douchebags.
You have to see that movie. It's great.
Not a big...
And it's even better when I found out that they were supposed to play opposite parts originally.
Because Franco is literally the visual version of nails going down a chalkboard to me.
You gotta watch it.
And him and his brother.
You have to watch it. It's so good. He said, "What do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm a process servant. Or a process server." He said, "Like a servant? He shines shoes?" He said, "No, process server. Like if somebody sues you, I deliver the paper." He was like, "That's awesome, man. So you get to like wear disguises and shit." Oh, man. So, move on to his career as a writer. This is a long-running scope, this writing thing. This will pretty much fulfill his entire life in one way or shape or form. He wrote Pulp Fiction novels.
Well, I was going to say, wait a minute, Pulp?
Yeah, he wrote Pulp Fiction.
Fuck, I have to rethink all that.
Yeah, it took about 50 years before Quentin Tarantino jumped on it.
Had to put his stamp on it, yeah.
Yeah. He began a successful career writing Pulp Fiction in the 1930s, contributing to magazines in genres such as science fiction, fantasy, adventure, and westerns.
Hitting the whole spectrum.
I feel like in that era of westerns is just a throwaway.
Everybody did westerns in that era.
He published numerous short stories and novels under his own name and various pseudonyms. He was R.L. Stine of Goosebumps lore. That's not true. He did his asterisks, notable works in science fiction. He wrote for popular magazines such as Astounding Science Fiction, not that popular, never fucking heard of it. And his stories gained him a reputation within the science fiction community. Some of his early works, like Final Blackout and Fear, explored dystopian and psychological themes.
Nice.
This kind of feeds into the future of this.
I did hear a little bit about. Apparently, he has written more fiction.
He's written like thousands of
more fiction novels than anybody else.
Yeah, thousands.
Because even Rogan has talked about it and said he's got a good joke about it. Says the man never doesn't know what a second draft is.
Right. He's just like, there you go. There's typos in. Shut up.
What?
There's typos in this. Shut up. That's what he's saying.
Oh.
Like, I don't give a fuck. Print it. I'm a pastor. I do whatever I want, including underage people in my church.
Allegedly.
That's more of a Catholic thing. You know, schmala schmism, if you will. You do a fucking whole podcast on that. Literally a whole series of podcasts.
Maybe we'll cover that at some point, too.
Yeah. Let's get into his early military career. He did serve during the World War II era. In 1941, at the age of 30, L. Ron Hubbard joined the U.S. Naval Reserve as a lieutenant just before the U.S. entered World War WW2. The war made famous by Cotton Hill from King of the Hill. He was assigned various administrative and intelligence duties during his military career, but his time in service was marked by several controversial events. Some of his initial assignments included a public relations officer in New York City. Who gives a shit? He was later transferred to the Philippines, but never made it due to health issues, which caused him to return to the States.
How convenient.
At one point, he commanded the USS YP-422 in 1942. He briefly commanded this ship, a coastal patrol boat stationed in Boston in 1942. His command lasted only a few months before he was relieved of duty, reportedly due to insuitability for independent command.
Which, for those people like me that are stupid, what the hell does that mean?
It basically means that, like, he was incapable of doing his job by himself. He was a trainee, and they tried to take the wheels off, is basically what I read there. Now we move on to his command of the USS PC-815. In 1943, Hubbard was given command of the USS PC-815, a submarine chaser stationed off the Oregon coast. This mission became one of the most controversial parts of his service, as Hubbard reported engaging in a 2-day battle with what he believed to be enemy submarines. After further investigation, the Navy concluded that no enemy submarines were present, and the incident was dismissed as a mistake. Now, I do not have it in my notes because I already looked into this, but I do believe that this is the battle in which he engaged a known magnetic anomaly off of the West Coast.
What?
It's just like an anomaly within
the West Coast Bermuda Triangle version.
Sure, maybe, okay. Question mark. But it's known to be there by the military.
Okay, so this was a 2-day battle with nothing.
Yes.
I mean, after the first couple hours, don't you think, maybe we ain't hitting nothing? I mean, it's a submarine. I understand. They're hard to see.
I just like...
They are underwater, and I'm assuming a submarine chaser is above water.
I also just like to imagine that all these people are talking in, like, old-timey talk from the films. They're just like, sir, we're not hitting nothing. I don't think there's anything out there. It's like, don't get your knickers in a bunch.
Probably.
That was a CK on that, by the way.
But that's... I mean, I think the guys who are firing said weapons would say, I don't think we're hitting anything. There's nothing out here. And then another guy said, shut up, keep firing. He told us to fire.
What was that movie? That happened in a movie. That's happened in a lot of movies. Probably RoboCop. Something stupid. That was a great film.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I can understand, finding an anomaly on a radar or something and blowing up.
For like a very momentary period of time.
I was blowing up a school of squid or something, or whatever. Some jellyfish.
Yeah, and you're like, shit.
Oh, shit. But 2 days?
They're going to take that out of my paycheck, man.
I mean, 2 fucking days?
Dude, literally, like, what if it was the Megalodon or some shit? What if he was credited with finding, like, the fucking, like, aquatic Loch Ness Monster, and they're like, he made a mistake, and it was a great scientific discovery.
That's generally how it happens.
The entire world of science and history has to thank this man for his lawless and stupidity in his efforts in war. He has found plesiosaurs off the Oregon coast. Tune in tonight at 11 and hear us talk about the next presidential debate of 1944 while I openly smoke cigarettes on camera.
Without a disclaimer.
I will be interviewing children while smoking these cigarettes, and I will offer them cigarettes because, as we all know, a Marlboro cigarette can cure any ailment.
So said the doctors back then.
Exactly.
Or a shot of whiskey.
Yeah. Or mercury.
Your kid's crying, give him some whiskey.
Oh, no, let's be real. Give him some whiskey. If that doesn't work, fucking hit him a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean until it really hurts.
God love that time.
They will fall asleep eventually if you hit them hard enough.
Maybe permanently, but that's a different story.
Now,
cross that bridge when we get to it.
Now, we moved on to the bombing of a Mexican island in 1943. Later on, this is the same year, same fucking year. While stationed off the coast of Southern California, Hubbard ordered the USS PC-815 to conduct gunnery practice on what he believed to be an uninhabited island. The island was actually part of Mexico's territory, and it was, I believe, lightly populated by Mexican nationals. But he was just like, shell the shit out of it, boys! Drop your cocks and grab your socks. Smoke them if you got them. Load them up. Let's go. Fucking hellfire and brimstone on that motherfucker right now.
So you're basically saying L. Ron Hubbard damn near brought Mexico into the war.
Well, this incident, as it says here, did cause a diplomatic stir, and Hubbard was subsequently relieved of command for, quote, poor judgment. See, these are those situations where there should be, I know that there's a decorum to official paperwork and especially in the military, but there should be a sidebar area, like a gray area where for this, instead of poor judgment, it should just be being a fucking dipshit.
I don't disagree. I think
he, on his paperwork, stamped in red, relieved of command for some stupid ass John Wayne shit.
Yes. I mean, he was a little trigger happy. He just wanted to blow some shit up, which
clearly
I don't blame him. Who doesn't? That's why 4th of July is so
but you
fucking
don't do it
popular.
on a fucking island.
Well,
The first option was a better option.
it's an honest mistake.
At least the first one, he's just shelling the shit out of the open ocean.
That's true.
And again, who knows? Maybe a fucking megalodon would have popped up. He was trying to free Willy. You do a whole podcast on that. I dove deep into an episode of the Danny Jones podcast about a guy that used to train dolphins and shit.
We're getting comments on our...
I love how the fucking dead one gets all the love, and we're just sitting here pouring our hearts out.
Well, you guys watch long enough. There might be 2 of them up there. I'm getting that up there. This could be a solo podcast.
Spread her ashes on our computer. Be like, oh,
do the LeBron James thing,
dude. Yes. Can we go do that? Can we just walk up to like, welcome to Taco Bell. Can I take your order?
Oh, you know, I have to laugh.
Oh no, we'll take
otherwise
I'd
I'd be crying.
and rye on the west side that they're building. Have you seen that?
No.
Random sidebar, but you know that old tire shop on the west side?
I don't get.
It's been there forever.
I don't get to the west side much.
You've seen it.
I'm
it's
trying.
literally it's been there as long as I can remember.
We're talking west side, not
yeah. Like west side of where we live.
Oh, okay. The west side's across the river.
Yeah.
Okay.
The old tire shop that was over there forever.
I didn't know if you were talking about the west side of
no, not
Erie
the west
Boulevard.
side. No.
Okay.
The west side of the river. That old tire shop that's been there
I'm
for
sure
fucking
I've been
ever.
by. I'm just not paying attention.
Yeah, they're building. They're turning it into a Mexican restaurant, Agave and Rye, the fancy one.
Huh?
It's all black now. It's actually kind of cool. They kept like.
Oh, you're talking about the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, actually, they kept the awning, like the ceiling or the roof for some of the gas pumps or the bays or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I saw it. I was like, that's a fucking weird choice. But then I thought, I was like, no, it's not. It's free coverage and lighting.
That's a great automotive themed restaurant, and you have the bays that lift up. You know, the 4 things that go under cars.
It's like a party room.
No, but they have a big tall table, and you got you turn those 4 arms that go up under and jack the car up. You make chairs out of them, and you lift people up, and they can't go anywhere.
Dine and dash that, bitch.
Yeah, you got to pee, whip it out. And you got the oil change. Drink.
I need lube service. Just put one of those cow milkers on there.
You got a guy underneath going,
I need a smaller tip.
oh fuck. All right, continue with this shit.
God damn it. So
we're blowing up islands. I got it.
Let's see. After being relieved from his command, Hubbard spent much of the remainder of the war in the continental U.S., undergoing various training programs, including in radar and anti-submarine warfare.
Maybe.
Hold on. Yeah, wait. Hold. Maybe 1, little too late. Maybe 2, choose a different fucking direction. He already fucked that one up pretty good.
I would have trained him on radar shit before gave him command of a boat with weapons.
I was unaware that when it comes to commanding ships with guns and shit, I was unaware that there was more than 1 strike.
Apparently.
Actually, in this one, there's 3 fucking strikes. This is his 3rd strike, because I'm assuming he failed at that because he couldn't manage to succeed at it in the fucking first place. Idiot. Like and share the video. Seriously, though, if everybody just goes and they share this to 3 people, that will be 3 times more people than will probably actually watch this. Just pick that one coworker that says inappropriate shit at the wrong time. They'll fucking love it.
I'm counting 3 people watching right now.
It says 6 on mine.
Oh, well, fuck.
Yeah. So if all 6 people sent it to 3 people, that's like 400 people.
That's math. I'm not doing math.
Yeah, you can't argue with the facts. Moving on. L. Ron Hubbard was hospitalized several times during his service, claiming to suffer from ulcers, conjunctivitis, and other ailments. Now, what the fuck is conjunctivitis? Doesn't that have a street name?
I don't know. Somebody in the chat, Google that.
Pink eye, isn't it?
I don't know.
Anal prolapse?
I don't think so.
They call that a pink sock on the streets.
Oh, that was a long way to go for a joke.
How gross is... No, I wasn't going anywhere. My mind was just spitballing.
If I had my phone, I Googled it. to tell you, but my
I
phone's...
want to say conjunctivitis is pink eye.
It's some kind of itis.
This problem probably way off.
I don't know. We will be back next week with the answer to this question.
Until we forget that we have that question. He later claimed that he was severely injured during the war, including suffering from partial blindness and a damaged back, and that he cured himself using techniques he would later incorporate into Dianetics.
Oh.
The fuck? Injured from what?
You know,
Did you shoot nothing too close to the ship and caught a little wave and you got a little... Oh.
I mean, I'm sure those big guns go off. They do shake, rattle, and roll.
But he was in the command of the ship. I doubt he's down there on the deck and he's like, get out of the way, Jerry. We gotta get this son of a bitch.
By the way,
I can tell the future. I'm trying to save Jason Statham's life. Even though he doesn't die.
Just for the record, don't get a big head. You were right. Pink eye.
Nice. So that's what you... Big fucking deal. Take some amoxicillin and eat a dick. Get over it.
I think... You know, Klinger from MASH should have just realized all you need is pink eye and you got out of it. You didn't have to wear dresses. I'm just saying.
Or stop sniffing.
Of course, that man was ahead of his fucking time.
Or like, why were you getting pink eye so much, buddy? Been doing some gross butt stuff that you shouldn't be doing?
Is that how pink eyes?
Allegedly, poop particles can cause pink eye.
Huh.
So people be out here farting on pillows and shit.
Oh, so all you people with pink eye, you dirty bastards.
You nasty bitches. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it.
I don't think I've
like
ever
when you're a
had
little
pink
kid, like you do a bad job wiping and washing your hands, and then you're like, "Oh, it's sheepy," and then you wake up with pink eye.
Or a guy scratching the sack a little close.
Yeah,
yeah, and then rubbing the eye.
You know, when you get down low enough that like that kind of scratch where sometimes you fall to the devil and you go,
"Oh, you nasty bitch! You nasty bitch!"
Don't act like you've never done it. Every human being in the world has smelled their junk to be like,
"You nasty bitch."
Either be like, "It's not that bad," or be like, "Oh God, it's so vinegary."
I need hand sanitizer just having this conversation at this point.
But this reminds me of a question that I meant to bring up in this that I thought of earlier. I was listening to another podcast because I like to listen to those like real out there theories, and it was about. Okay, you ready?
What? Lay it on me. Get the fucking baby
what's
oil
the fucking,
and lube me up.
What's the drug?
P. Diddy.
What's the drug that you said you would do? HDMI or some shit.
DMT.
Yes, DMT. DMT.
Okay.
And like of things of the like. So, excuse me. They say, there's the whole thing how they say that the fluoride is calcifying our pineal gland, and our pineal gland is our access.
Pineal gland. I thought you said penis. My bad.
That's not a gland, you idiot. So they say that calcification of the pineal gland is being done on purpose because the pineal gland is like quote unquote our third eye and might be our access to the naturally occurring DMT within our bodies, which is the DMT in our bodies that's natural occurring is connected to us being able to dream at night during REM sleep.
That's what our brain produces, DMT.
Okay, and possibly opening the other side of our brains and shit. So they're purposely calcifying our pineal glands for this purpose. I have now a further theoretical piece of evidence to this subject.
If it's theoretical, is it really evidence?
Yes.
Okay.
So again, DMT gets naturally released within the human brain while you're sleeping, hence dreams. Mm-hmm. The pineal gland is said to be our third eye, which would open us up to further and more advanced, potentially, thought processes and brain function. Right?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Have you ever shit your pants in your sleep? As an adult.
Not in my sleep.
It's because your brain is working on a higher level because the pineal gland is accessing the DMT, which is opening the thoughts, the wavelengths and the fucking highways in your brain. So your brain is working better in your sleep. Therefore, your butthole reaction is faster.
Further
evidence.
This we're just gonna go way the fuck off topic.
I think it's bulletproof.
While we sleep, what's that called? Where your body paralyzes itself?
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis, so you don't act out your dreams.
Yeah.
Now, how is it possible that if your body does do this, so you don't act out your dreams, do people wet the bed or shit the bed? I don't think I've shit the bed. That
was the ghost of Layla.
What'd you do? Okay. God.
Never mind. It's been debunked. Fuck off, Zach Bagans.
But seriously, I mean, you think if you're sleep paralysis, you wouldn't be able to pee the bed or shit the bed.
Yeah, but peeing the bed happens at weird times. Like the last time I remember peeing the bed as a grown up, I was like, I got drunk the night before, and I remember having a dream about like eating ice cream and it was melting, and then like I like literally woke up mid pee, and I was like, weird.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever shit the bed.
It's because your pineal gland was active in your sleep, and it was allowing your brain to be like, no, butthole, don't open.
I mean, as anybody that knows me knows, after a few Jägermeisters, all bets are off.
I mean, I've shat while in a bed. The last time I sharted was while I was laying in a bed.
I almost did that awake on the way to work the other day, or last week.
I did it. Dude, this was like maybe 2 months ago. I was laying in bed and I was like, "Oh man, my stomach!" And then I lifted my leg and instantly went, "God damn it!"
I mean, I was driving down the road. I was like, "Oh, this is a judgment call. Do I make a right here
At least
and turn back around, or do I just go on to work?"
See, but this is the beauty of it. Unlike me, I have a bigger issue with that situation because you have leather seats.
That's true.
I have cloth.
But I had to make a judgment call. We're gonna roll the dice and just go ahead and go to work. And
you used to walk. You used to sleepwalk.
Yeah, haven't I told this story in my?
I hope you don't, because I fucking live with you.
I know I've told you.
I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm punching you in the dick. If I wake up,
don't mind 1,000 bottles of baby oil in the old downstairs.
I wonder. We were talking about that at work today. I wonder if you get more than like 2 bottles of baby oil, do you think you get put on like a watch list?
I think you should actually.
Like buying fucking
I don't think
allergy medicine.
I don't think I've ever bought baby oil.
I know I've never bought baby oil. I don't have kids.
I'm sure.
Nor do I have freak offs. Is what I guess he called them.
Yes, but yes, I did use this, and I believe I swore I told the story one time. I probably told you the story. Long-time listeners, if you've heard the story, I apologize. I was spending the night at a friend's house.
That's how the Diddy situation started.
No baby oil required, baby. And I woke up in my bed.
Oh yeah.
I walked home in my sleep. And they said I just got up and walked out. I said, fuck it, I'm out. Deuces, bitches, I'm out of here. Boring ass party anyway.
Interesting. I just automatically think about Step Brothers.
But I don't think I've slept walking. Generally, I used to do it when I was upset or angry or stressed about something.
I know.
I'm laid back now. I don't give a fuck. And let's be honest, I'm too lazy to sleepwalk.
I know I did it once when I was in like high school. At my friend's house, and I woke up like downstairs, like in the hallway, and like his dad was on one side of me and his brother was on the other side of me. I guess I just got there because they were like, and I woke up and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Night."
No, but I'm pretty sure I don't sleepwalk any longer. Of course, what I really know,
you can barely fucking awake walk.
Fuck, it hurts to walk awake. Fuck, you think I'm gonna do that shit sleeping? I have it'd wake me up just trying to get out of bed. All right, where are we at?
So, the heroism and recovery. These are stories. These are all of this stuff is in some way, shape, or form connected to the ideology or history given by the Church of Scientology.
So it is 100% factual.
Yes.
No need to fact check this shit.
Because Scientology's cool. Don't take our shit down. L. Ron Hubbard made several claims about his military service after the war, asserting that he was highly decorated, wounded in action, and responsible for heroic deeds. What? Highly decorated with what? Were you in the galley with your fucking crayons making yourself metal while you then... I need to sharpen my crayon.
And it's hard work. It's very heroic blowing up an island, okay?
Well...
with one of our allies.
Yeah. Now, these claims were later contested by official U.S. Navy records, which show that Hubbard's service was largely unremarkable, with no evidence of combat injuries or major commendations.
Shocker.
Yeah. You're telling me the guy that tried to blow up a fucking school of, I don't know, barracuda? They're delicious. That's why we did it.
He didn't need a bigger boat. He was blowing up Jaws, baby.
Now we're going to get to the creation of Dianetics and Scientology.
All right, now we're rocking and rolling.
He often linked his experiences in the military to the development of Dianetics, suggesting that his recovery from wartime injuries inspired his search for mental and spiritual healing methods. In Scientology literature, Hubbard is depicted as a decorated war hero whose experiences helped shape his later work.
A little delusional.
If only there was a Stolen Valor YouTubers back then.
I mean, at least he didn't say he was a Navy SEAL.
Especially this guy, with how stupid some of the shit he did sounds. They'd be like, take that uniform off right now. He'd be like, I earned this uniform. They'd be like, your fucking medals are made out of scratch and stiff markers, motherfucker. This isn't the Marines. I made a Marine joke about that. Or to a Marine recently. Yeah, I just saw some shit randomly online, and I was like, I almost bought it for you. It was like a wood carving, and it had the Marines in their font with the logo and shit, but it was on like a box of crayons that had a bite out of the top of it. And I was like, I almost got this for you. You can't tell me as a Marine you don't think that's fucking funny. And he was like, it's hilarious.
Of all the military branches, I think Marines have the best sense of humor.
Well, yeah, because their brains don't work.
Because they're crazy. And
I'm not saying that about all of them. I'm just saying about the handful that I've known are definitely a little fucking off.
You got to be off to be, you know.
The few, the proud, the Marines. Well, that's all I don't know.
I don't need the Marines coming after me, too. I'm already Tom Cruise.
My handful of Marine friends are all, I wouldn't say dumb, but they're definitely a little off.
Ethan Hunt's going to come and kill me, so after this episode, that's okay, though.
Or John Travolta's going to come bite you to
I'm
death.
not that worried about John Travolta.
Yeah. There's some controversy with his Navy records and some discrepancies. Official Navy records obtained by researchers and journalists showed that Hubbard's service record did not support many of his later claims, again. And records indicate that Hubbard was never awarded major combat decorations and that he was relieved of command twice for poor performance.
Well, maybe that is a major...
Well, that just doesn't add up.
That's an accomplishment.
I was so good, I was bad.
I was so good, they had to get rid of me.
They got rid of me because that anomaly that I attacked in the middle of the ocean was actually Hitler's fucking submarine that he escaped on after he faked his death and he was on his way to Argentina. That's also why, that's where they stopped to get gas at that Mexican island. Weren't no gas stations, but that's what they was doing. They had aquatic gas stations. Water World. They had a Buc-ee's down there. Oh, we're supposed to be getting a Buc-ee's.
Sweet.
In Huber Heights. Oh, God.
Well, I'm not making that drive just to go to a Buc-ee's.
I will. Either that or I'll go to the other one on a road trip or something. I mean, like, just to go. You know, I hear so much about it. I feel like I'm going to be the only person that walks in and goes, what the fuck? It's just a big-ass Jets. It's just a giant fucking, what is that, dino that they got every once in a while. It's a big-ass fucking Loves. It's Loves with nuts. Love nuts. Now, the Church of Scientology does defend his military record, that they have consistently done so, suggesting that his true accomplishments were either classified or suppressed by the government.
Oh, always
Good. Hey, not a bad fucking.
That's a good defense
method.
Hey,
Especially given today's knowledge of government functions, if you will. Like, not maybe made less sense back then. I don't know. I wasn't alive. You were 52 at that time.
Suck all of my dick.
That won't take long. Oh, man. So he was discharged from the Navy he was pushed out of active duty in 45 and formally resigned from the Navy, the Naval Reserve, in 1950. How the fuck they allowed him to stick around until 1950, I do not know. Maybe it was one of those things. Maybe they got a government aid from keeping him employed, if you know what I'm saying.
They had a quota to meet.
They needed some windows they needed cleaned, but they were out of Windex and paper towels, so he used his tongue.
Somebody's got to try on all those helmets. Just saying.
Have you seen my baseball?
Remember, Tom Cruise.
He's fucking dead.
They're jokes.
Upon his discharge, Hubbard received a letter of recommendation stating that he was, quote, considered capable of performing satisfactory service. That's, what the fuck? That is, good job. I would not show that to anybody. That's the human version of walking up to a dog and going, "Who's a good boy?" That's what that is.
Too soon, motherfucker. Too soon.
I said boy, and nobody ever said that to her. What? When did you say she's a good girl? You said you're cute.
I said
I love you.
I always called her a good girl.
I don't know how she was when she was younger. I don't recall ever saying good girl to her. And it's not because she was a bad dog. It's because she didn't do anything.
That is true.
She ate, slept, pissed, and shit, and went every once in a while.
She was old.
Every once in a while, she might welcome me home from work.
Pretty much she was acting the way I am right now. I mean, I'm on my way out.
And also, I just don't talk to dogs like that half the time. I'm like you little fucker. Like what? They can't understand you. Okay. So after the war, Hubbard claimed that his self-designed mental techniques were instrumental in his recovery from war injuries, leading to the development of Dianetics and later Scientology.
I find it's hard fucking work overcoming imaginary fucking
It is hard motherfucking work. You ready for this section called Legacy and Mythologization?
Sure.
Yeah. His war hero narrative in Scientology, Hubbard is often portrayed as a valiant war hero overcoming severe wartime injuries. Did I double this up?
I think so.
Well, No. Okay, this is slightly different. Wartime injuries through his own discoveries about the mind and spirit.
And I don't disagree with him on this. I mean,
I disagree that this motherfucker did it.
I think the mind is a powerful thing.
It is.
I think the mind can heal a lot.
I think the mind is only second to the sphincter.
Okay.
Think about it. Think about how fast your butthole can differentiate between liquid and solid.
Well, once again, it depends on how much Jaeger we've had.
See, and this is another childish point. How come your butthole can tell the difference between liquid and solid super fast, but gas and solid is out the window after like 25?
But there is something. There is something to the mind healing the body. I mean, I think.
Oh, I agree.
There's literally a powerful thing.
We talked about this. You can go online and now get PDF files that are the released CIA guidelines to basically using your own mental power to alleviate stress, anxiety, depression, all kinds of shit.
But here's the thing.
Addiction, I think, is one of the things that they can cure just using the power of the mind, according to them.
I'm no conspiracy theorist, and this is not that kind of episode.
I am. This isn't a conspiracy theory episode?
No, this is legitimate. It very well could be that there's no money in letting people, pushing that narrative or adding that to the regiment.
That's
not saying that, modern medicine's all bullshit. I think I think you should use every tool in the tool belt.
That's a fair assessment, Howard Moon. I think that was the guy's name. You ever seen Old Greg?
No.
The old viral video was one of the, as far as I'm concerned, the first real good viral video. He's like, I'm Old Greg. I'm a scaly manfish.
I'm not saying that mine's going to cure cancer, but I'm just saying it can't. I think positivity, that positive energy.
Which is really funny coming from either of us.
Yeah, because I'm the most negative sumbitch on the planet.
You kind of are.
No, I just don't like people. Just a select few.
Yeah. He does prefer animals.
I do prefer animals.
You're going to have to find a replacement. Get you like a bearded dragon or something.
No, I got a replacement in there.
I heard beardies are pretty entertaining pets, actually.
No, I'm done with pets.
You're not a reptile person?
No.
I love reptiles. The right ones.
No.
Lizards are fun to keep.
No.
Anywho. So, where was I? Oh, the church also emphasizes his military background as part of the narrative of his resilience and personal triumph, although these claims remain heavily disputed by independent researchers. You don't fucking say.
His background of blowing up islands for no apparent
And
reason.
also nothing.
You know, that's...
Do you think, like, dude...
That's you have to be resilient to do that.
And if you're going to do that, if I'm on your ship, we better be eating fucking good that night. If we're going to be blowing up a slightly inhabited island or absolutely nothing in the middle of the fucking ocean, we better be trolling some nets through there and picking up whatever we did kill.
Yes.
That'd be some funny shit if they were like, I can't believe you, Hubbard. I can't believe you wasted all of this fucking military asset on absolutely nothing. And they're like dragging nets because they're like, we might as well eat the fish that we probably killed. And they pull up,
anybody?
and they pull up like fucking like Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, and like Rasputin all at the same time with like a bunch of metal fragments. And he's just sitting there like,
war's over, boys. War's over. Single-handedly.
suck it, Churchill. You old bulldog-looking fuck. Published discrepancy is the title of this next section. The gap between Hubbard's documented military record and his personal claims remain one of the most controversial aspects of his life, with critics accusing him of embellishment and self-mythology. No fucking way.
Spank my ass and call me Judy.
That is the most
shit.
shocking thing I've read in years. You gotta be... No way. So he made up a bunch of bullshit. What are you going to tell me next? Are you going to tell me that the government lies to us?
No.
You gonna break some more ice in my mind here?
I'm just saying.
You gonna tell me that global warming is actually a thing?
It is a thing.
Yes, we just have a different point of view on it than most people.
I think it should get a little bit fucking warmer. I'd be happy if I never see snow again.
Yeah. So right at the end of his career, because as I said, he got out of the naval, whatever the fuck, in 1950. And that's nothing against the Navy. I just don't want to credit this guy with a naval career up to this point. He authored the book Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health in the year 1950, the year of our Lord. Now, Dianetics introduced ideas of the mind as composed of an analytical and reactive part, offering a system of clear trauma engrams, as they called them, through auditing to achieve a state of clear. Yes.
Okay.
We've still got, what are we on? We're on, oh, dude, this is no way we're doing this in one episode. I'm not even, I'm like a third of the way through my notes.
You quit bullshitting.
Well, we wouldn't have talked about the dead dog for 10 minutes.
Fuck, we'll go back to talking about that.
I know. She was a sweet little mutant. It was so funny. She was cute. She was ugly cute.
No, she was a fucking princess.
I'm not saying she wasn't, but you got to admit, like, she was the kind of dog where you're like, something's wrong, but I want to pick you up. She did very much look like one of those dogs who had like the tongue that hung out, but she didn't. I kind of wish she did. She would have been really cute. She would have been great for fucking mail. You just fucking close the envelope.
Should have seen her at the end.
God damn. She was a cute little bitch. That's scientific. You're allowed to say that.
That is the term.
It's really, but the wood grain on this is really bothering me now that I'm looking at it.
Why?
Because it doesn't evenly work with the bottom or the top. I know that's not their fault and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like looking at tiles that are slightly off.
Get back to Dianetics.
You have a lovely box, Chalupa Cabra. You're in a lovely box, Chalupa Cabra.
So we got Ingrams, which is trauma.
Yeah.
And auditing, which gets you clear.
Which I think is funny as fuck, strictly from the standpoint of being a nerd, because I played Destiny and Destiny 2 for a long time, and Ingrams were like drops that you would pick up off the ground, like weapons or armor or something like that.
I thought he was a running back for the Crimson Tide. But
Jesus Christ. So now so they're like little prizes. So your trauma's like little prizes you find all over the place, just laying on the barren floor of your mind.
And who doesn't like to be audited?
I've never been audited, don't want to. Unless it's by Scientology.
You know,
or whatever your fucking hand sign is.
I'm thinking I want to do. I wonder if they still do the old sit out outside and offer to give people an auditing session.
Oh, probably.
I want to go.
I would do it. I would visit a church of Scientology.
Grab the fucking cans.
And I would be very fucking honest with them too. I'd be like, I'm not going to fall for your shit, but I welcome you to attempt it.
I'd like to do it. I think we ought to.
Oh, speaking of with culty shit, have you watched Fallout yet on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
This is so good. I'm not done with it yet.
It months ago.
It's super good.
It was.
I also wonder, like, not spoiler alert, but when they got to like the 5th or 6th episode or whatever the fuck it was, and like he sat down and watched the old Western that he was in, the ghoul guy, I was legitimately sitting there and I looked at Better Half. I was like, do you think that there's people dumb enough that it took them to this point to figure out who he is? It's literally the same fucking actor.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I was not familiar with the game at all.
I've never played. I've played one of the games like very briefly.
I've never played any of the games, so I had no clue of the storyline.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this makes no fucking sense.
Right.
How do we go from here to here? And then it all comes. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think I got 2. I have 1 episode. She's got 2 episodes because she fell asleep.
I mean, I loved it. I loved it. I can't wait for hopefully.
Oh yeah, and fucking Last of Us is supposed to come out next year sometime. Yeah. Another video game show that was really good. Other than that, I haven't watched it. Watched the whole Mr. McMahon docuseries on Netflix.
I think he's getting a bad rap.
He's the most wrestling motherfucker alive, though, for real. I've been talking about it. How, like, at the very beginning when they were like, so, tell us about yourself. And he said, what do you want to talk about? I don't like talking about myself. I don't like to have people know me. And I was like, you're not a wrestler, Vincent. Vincent Kennedy.
Maybe one day we should do an episode on him. Of course, it could be. Sounds like it's going to be a true crime episode here soon.
You're right. When you said the bad rap thing, did you see what Shane said about him? What? When they were like, do you think your dad gets a bad rap? And he's like, I think my father gets the rap that he wants.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was like, Jesus
of course,
Christ.
I think that was before 2023.
It was, because did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, but I fell asleep for like.
They come that last episode. They
I saw that.
Reconvene in 2023 again.
And he said, I think I want to sit this one out.
No, even after that. Like, he didn't finish his original ones from 2022 or whatever. Right. They actually had some people back in 2023, like Bruce Pritchard and a couple other people.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
Because Bruce Pritchard was defending him till the death, which I don't blame him if everything he said was true.
Well, and here's the thing. There's good and bad in everybody. There's good and bad in L. Ron Hubbard.
The only problem with guys like Vince McMahon is the good is oftentimes displayed to you by the people that are around him. The bad is in other people.
Now, let's be honest. And these are all allegations at this point.
Pick that one up.
No. We do not know what the fuck the real story is. And like I've said a million times.
He's going to be fucking dead by the time we do.
The truth is somewhere in the middle. You know?
Like the X-Files.
Just like Diddy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe McMahon only had 500 cans of baby oil. If he would have known Diddy had 1,000, he would have thought it had 1,001.
They had 1,001 house.
Okay.
Now, in 1953, we start to shift from Dianetics into Scientology as we know it. Dianetics evolved into Scientology and focused on spiritual rehabilitation rather than just mental health. In this same year, Hubbard officially established the Church of Scientology in Camden, New Jersey, making the shift to an organized religion. He also
Good money in it.
Yeah, just ask what's his face, that Matthew McConaughey's cousin-looking motherfucker, Joel Osteen. Now, Hubbard described Scientology as a religious philosophy that helps people understand and free their spiritual self, known as the Thetan. And I often wonder, I'm like, is this the devil's church? And did L. Ron Hubbard have a fucking lisp? Thetan?
Maybe, I don't know.
Pray your Thetan. Anyway, let's go to the core beliefs and practices of Scientology.
Well, this is where it's going to get interesting, because
it bounces.
I don't.
This shit, like between him and David Miscavige and just everything, Leah Remini, shit like that, like the ins and outs of the whole thing, it bounces so fucking much. It took me so long to put these notes together, comparatively to most other ones, and it was literally mostly just me being like, well, fuck, this is way down here, but it should probably be way up here, and then this way up here, and it should probably be way down there, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It was like it was a mind fuck of organization to notate this.
Well, bullshit's often hard to do like that.
Which is surprising because that's all I fucking do.
All right, let's get into it.
Now let's talk about the Thetan. Central to Scientology is the belief that humans are spiritual beings, or Thetans, who are inherently good but are hindered by traumas accumulated over countless past lives. The countless past lives is where you start to get a little iffy with me. But other than that, it's not a far-fetched, realistic viewpoint of humanity.
Well, even in a lifetime, our traumas affect us younger. Traumas occurred in during the younger years affect us, change, they guide us in, or they affect how those kind of adults we are.
Like I've talked about it. Like I have a lot of blocked out periods of my childhood, and I wouldn't even say that I had a bad childhood. Like I didn't get beat or like anything like that. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of arguing in my household, and there was a lot of dismay, but I would not say I had a bad childhood. But at the same time, I do not remember decent chunks of my childhood.
Now,
that might just be head trauma too.
And if you believe in past lives, which I'm not against this concept of past lives.
Well, yeah, it's because we're in a fucking a simulation. We're just respawning.
Maybe. But if you take the religion out of, I won't say out of it, but if we are just keep redoing this life, and there's those that believe we just keep reliving our lives or coming back, and we're trying to get it right.
Wouldn't that be...
Once we learn every lesson, then we graduate.
Okay.
Or...
Random train.
Oh.
Could that not be... Could you not then make the argument that perhaps we are all no longer on a living plane, or possibly the apocalypse has happened, and we are essentially in hell, reliving fault over and over again because we had never got it right the first time?
I raised this question not too long ago in a conversation. It is very possible that what we are experiencing right now, this is hell.
Because there's a lot of hardship that we can encounter in this world, in this life that we know.
Hell is what you're experiencing, or heaven is what you're experiencing. If you are having a great life, you have maybe that. This isn't what I believe, but I just throw this out there as like a thought exercise. Our previous life determines what kind of life we're going to have the next go around. So if you were an asshole and had a pretty good life, but an asshole, say, I don't know, an attorney, you're going to be a homeless beggar. Your next go around.
Or a displaced naval academy failure.
To where in this life, if you're, struggling and basically living in a hell-like existence, you die, you served your time. Okay, now let's try this again. I mean, I don't know. We're all guessing here. But I did have this conversation that, it is possible, I guess, that this realm, the life you are experiencing, I don't want to say the whole realm, but what you are experiencing could either be heaven or hell. So, very interesting. Ow.
Look at us.
You're getting old. Shit's popping.
Okay, now we move on to the auditing that we spoke on earlier and the e-meters that you were touching on earlier.
Oh, I want to touch on some e-meters.
Now, auditing is the central practice to clear the thetan of negative influences, and members undergo sessions using an e-meter to measure electrical changes in the body as they recall past traumas. The e-meter being the fucking, it looks like if you put a fucking kitchen scale in between one of those fucking, like, let's talk to each other experiments from your childhood.
Tin cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. I don't know how much credence I lend to this device.
Well,
I will be honest with you.
If I'm not mistaken, you hold them and it's like
I'm pretty
5-year-old's version of a lie detector test.
I'm pretty sure there's 100% more technological arcade games than that thing.
And basically, as you're holding this, it reads your electricity flowing through your body, and it spikes the needle, which tells basically, oh, we need to dive into that a little bit more, correct? Kind of thing?
Yeah. It's basically like a useless version of an EKG.
Or you have gas and not really a trauma, and every time you fart, it moves the needle.
Or you have to shit.
Maybe.
Not to make it about poop, or like insert, you got to pee. Right. You're worried about whether or not you fed the meter when you parked.
So what we're saying is it's not exactly an exact science.
Like no.
It's probably bullshit.
No, you don't say. I didn't say that. Phil said that. I believe.
Oh, now you're turning it around.
Live long and prosper.
Okay, Spock.
Cock. Yeah, so the goal of this process is to progress through the Scientology bridge to total freedom. That's what the dog just crossed. She crossed the bridge to total freedom. Maybe not the Scientology one, but that can mean many things. That could be twisted in a lot of ways. I find that to be a very umbrella term as far as how you could look at it, which I think makes it, how do I want to say this, more bullshit-esque because of how umbrella the term is.
Right.
Because oftentimes that's how that shit works, is people try to sway you into something, but will say, religion oftentimes does it where it's like, we're going to say this, but it could be interpreted about 462,000 ways. So it's all you, boss.
I think it's relative. Your
like
freedom,
an uncle?
Your freedom might be different than what I would consider freedom.
True.
So I don't think you can.
Well, you ask us what about freedom, and it would like make a black person from 1814 shit their pants. They'd be like, "You want all that?"
Right.
Not to be shitty. I'm just saying, like that's a very extreme comparison, but
it goes into desires. What you desire might be different than what I desire.
I just want more chicken when I ask for double chicken at Chipotle.
I might want 71 virgins. I don't know.
72.
Oh, is it 72?
Yeah.
Damn it. I mean, who wouldn't want 72 virgins? Can you imagine how annoying that time is? That'd be an annoying.
I feel like you'd have more fun instead of. Can you trade in the 72 virgins for like 3 sluts?
Exactly. In my afterlife, I want to be with somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing. Hell, I take one good one. Just one
God.
good slut.
Just give me Air Force Amy from that fucking Bunny Ranch show that used to be on HBO.
I want a woman who knows what she's doing in the afterlife, not 72 virgins.
Jesus.
Just talking shit all the time. Fuck. All right, continue.
Operating Thetan levels, or known as OT levels.
Okay.
Advanced levels of Scientology, known as OT levels, promise greater spiritual awareness and powers. Information about OT levels is secret until members reach those levels, with OT3 revealing the story of Xenu, an ancient extraterrestrial dictator.
Oh, that's not a movie with
Xena, Warrior Princess?
Yeah.
Lucy
Oh,
Lawless?
that's a TV show. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not the same.
Crossed over with Hercules, starring Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, yeah, okay. So that's not the same thing, right?
No.
Okay.
Xenu is there's like low key fucking like Japanimation movies about Xenu. He looks like I have it pulled up. I did not include it in my my notes, which I should have, so that we could pull up pictures of this motherfucker. But he kind of looks like in the depictions as far as the cartoons go. There's the alien depiction from like drawings and art and shit. I don't know if anybody can see that, but my favorite is the one that
It looks like a standard gray with
yeah.
a popped collar.
Yes, but my favorite is the one that looks like some like Genghis Khan era fucking like X-Men villain, which would be this one. That's the Xenu I want.
What was the?
Can anybody see that? Look at
Looks
this
like
shit.
was that reference you made from Flash Gordon?
Yes, he does look like
Right.
a character from Flash Gordon.
Yeah, the bag. What was his name? Oh, Ming.
What, the bad guy?
Ming.
Death to Ming.
Oh, that's for you young kids. You have no.
Yeah,
idea
he's
what
Ming
we're
with a
talking about.
he's Ming with a Magneto helmet. Oh, is that like a more? Oh no, that's just a different. Yeah, so they have an '80s cartoon villain as a let's say loosely use the word deity, if you will. Gonzo said it's about time we're live. Well, it's about time you tuned in. You missed us giving a fucking eulogy to the dog.
Yeah.
Your Puerto Rican, your brethren passed away. Go call the mariachis. I expect a fucking a parade in her honor.
You know what? We're going to the Mexican restaurant, taking her to
Dude,
birthday.
yes. We can spread her ashes in Chihuahua, Mexico. It's a real place.
I know.
I would imagine it's where they're from. What if we did that one day, like just drunkenly? We went to Mexico on like for like a vacation, and we took her there, and they're like, "What? ¿Qué es esto?" And you're like, "Esta mi Chihuahua es muerta," and they're just like, "Ah!" Put her in a shrine and shit. There's just a bunch of tiny little boxes.
Continue.
Little boxes on the hilltop. It's so stupid.
We're Xenu.
So this I'm glad I noticed that, because that is supposed to come after that.
Oh.
Because for some reason Dianetics got dropped way down. So again, this was the hard part of these notes for me, is like they came in so many different levels because of the different leaders and shit like that it got a little funky on the timing.
I hate to say it.
I'm going to get through L. Ron Hubbard, I think, and then call it. Because we still have David Miscavige and, like, alleged reports of negative stuff.
Yeah, because we've
So this one's not going to be Scientology. This one's just fucking L. Ron Hubbard.
Part 1.
Go figure. The guy that tried to blow up a fucking island for no reason and then assaulted a school of fish. Idiot.
I mean, maybe Aquaman was there, man.
That he deserved to get fucking blown up, because those movies suck. I love Jason Momoa is cool and everything, but those movies were awful.
The first one wasn't bad.
Well, the second one and the Justice League movies can suck my balls. Those movies sucked. Marvel shits on those movies. Batman, okay. I heard the
early
Penguin.
Marvel.
I heard the... Okay, if nothing else, just the enjoyment of your eyeballs, Marvel automatically wins.
After Endgame, Marvel just has went.
I haven't seen the new Guardians yet, though. I'll say that. I heard the Guardians 3 will make you cry. I heard like a lot of people cried watching Guardians 3. But also, another sidebar, I heard that the Penguin series on HBO, I think it's HBO, is really good. Apparently. Okay, so we're going back in time a little bit because I misplaced Dianetics. This is back in 1950. The publication of Dianetics, the modern science of mental health, was in 1950, and Hubbard published Dianetics, in which he described as a self-help system that could clear the mind of negative mental influences, or Ingrams, and achieve the state of clear. Yeah. So it's the baby version of Scientology.
Right.
This book became a bestseller and attracted a very large following, marking the beginning of what we now know as the Church of Scientology.
Which, and here's the thing. And when it comes to Dianetics, probably a good thing. Any self-help, I don't think any self-help.
Oh, I straight up doubled up notes here.
I don't think there is something to be
there is help to be had from self-help.
Right, you can take something away from even the most corny self-help thing.
Yeah. Like my favorite self-help thing is all those videos where it's like when you don't want to go to the gym or you don't want to go to work, and it just cuts to that clip from Friday where Debo's like, quit being a bitch and come on.
Right,
that's my favorite self-help thing right now.
So there's nothing wrong with, up to this point, outside of bombing a fucking island for no apparent reason or blowing up fish. Just to make water splash.
Or completely lying about your military service record.
But Dianetics is not... I can understand why it was a bestseller.
I think it started from potentially okay things. What the fuck was that? Was that the dog? That straight up kind of sounded like a person.
Your phone.
Huh?
Maybe somebody's outside. Maybe Chalupa's coming.
It could be.
She says, "You little motherfuckers talking shit."
The funny thing is, like, this is not the first
This
has happened on this fucking show.
What?
Where we've just heard random shit while we're recording it, especially when we did it in a supposed haunted location, which we need to fucking do again.
We will get on that.
I want to be in the dark with strangers. And I will, like, this time, if there's other people involved the next time we do this, I'm straight, like, in the middle of darkness. I'm fucking with everybody. I'm farting. I'm crop dusting people. I'm taking a handful of, like, marbles in my pocket that I can just toss on the ground and shit. Yeah, so that's baby Dianetics. Again, this is where my notes did get a little wishy-washy or misaligned. He did have Dianetics centers where you could be trained to audit people before Scientology was officially a thing. But he also, as you see here, ran into some financial difficulties and legal challenges, which led to the dissolution of some of these early foundations. Now we come back up, and we get to expansion and growth of Scientology on an international level. I didn't realize how quickly this shit happened. So it was officially founded in 1953.
Really?
Through the 50s and 60s, Scientology expanded rapidly, opening churches in multiple countries, including the UK, Australia, and South Africa. Now, I will say, those three things kind of count as one. Personal opinion. White people with kind of British accents and all three of them, it's one thing. Just saying it. And then then you have 67, the Sea Organization, or Sea Org, which Hubbard formed, again, they called it the Sea Org, a paramilitary group that operates Scientology's advanced spiritual services. The Sea Org members commit to a 1 billion-year contract to serve the church, symbolizing their eternal dedication. They do a lot of this on ships and shit like that. We will touch on it a little more later.
So basically, these were the black ops of Scientology. Early Scientologists.
I wouldn't even say
the Green Berets.
As I would say it's more the inner circle, if you will. The elite.
These were the Xenu warriors.
Yes. Yes. These were the Xenophiles.
All right.
They were the Xenots.
Okay.
Zealots. Suck it. We'll talk about the Sea Org more later. But yeah, they do a lot of work on ships, like off of the coasts and shit like that. This shit's huge. I had no idea how like legitimately large and grandiose Scientology really is.
Well, I mean, the 3 years, I can see how it could expand so quickly in 3 years. It doesn't,
especially back then.
People will, especially when you throw in hope and religion and
and fear, because you got to think at this time he was probably fear mongering on the back of the Cold War and shit like that.
You can get people to follow very, very easily.
Yeah.
Now, do a podcast about paranormal, true crime, and conspiracy. It takes forever to grow.
Yeah.
But you you throw out this self-help kind of thing and lay the groundworks of what would become a religion.
Giving somebody something to lean on is basically the blue chew of social interaction.
I can see how it would only take 3 years to blow up. Maybe we ought
the Sea Org was until 1967.
The Church of Layla. Let's start a church.
Every time you walk into churches, later. So this leads us to during the 60s and 70s, the Church of Scientology faced extensive legal scrutiny from various governments and tax agencies. And in the U.S., the IRS revoked its tax-exempt status in 1967. It operated more as a business than a religious institution, sparking decades of legal battles on the legitimacy of their place as a religious entity. Why are you not working? Uh-oh. The mouse is getting stupid on us. And my face is cramping. That was weird. See? I totally just doubled up my fucking, my shit for some reason. Oh. This goes into a little bit more into the Sea Org. The paramilitary, again, as I said, advanced spiritual training and serving as the elite order of the church.
The Rambos of the church.
He spent much of the late 1960s and early 1970s aboard Scientology's fleet of ships, issuing directives and overseeing the church's operations from sea. So this motherfucker, this is what this is. He piggybacked on a fake religion that he made up because he sucked at normal navying, and therefore he has made his own navy, of which he is the Capitan. He McDonald'sed it.
He's fulfilling his prophecy.
Yeah.
His calling.
He's you can go your own way. He's just fucking blazing his own path. Let's see. Look how long these notes go. And this is all just shitty stuff that happened. I don't even think we're at David. Wait, where's David Miscavige? This is all just shitty stuff that happened. Because I think I'm probably going to cut it here soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're...
all just shitty stuff that happened. Shitty stuff that happened. Actually... yeah, this is... probably a good place because all my David Miscavige shit. Oh wait, no, there it is. Wait, this is David Miscavige. So I can't. Fuck. Hold on. While I'm here, I'm going to take this and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do that. That way I know where David Miscavige starts.
Okay. Hey, I mean, I think we've learned a lot in this space loop.
This is all on... all we've talked about is one motherfucker.
Well, it's an important motherfucker.
And then...
I mean...
continue to talk. I'm just going through to find where we're at.
I think we are laying the groundwork for what would become Scientology.
Yeah, this is true.
Which I'm all for it. I'm thinking of becoming a Scientologist.
Okay. So
I want to be Thetaned.
Green is where we start next time. Red is David Miscavige.
I mean, and once again,
I
don't give a rat's ass what it is. If it helps people, if people find comfort in it, I'm good with it.
There is slightly more.
Well,
sorry.
Fuck.
Sorry. Again, dude, it's like I said, the hardest part of this was putting the notes in order.
You're like them 72 fucking virgins.
There's just so much. There was legitimately, like, I thought I had a handle on some of the knowledge that went through with this, and I did until I didn't. I was like, okay, so I know, but then there's little caveats to everything that I thought I knew.
Listeners are going to love that.
There is. Like, I couldn't help that. So this is basically just the end of the line. This is legitimately the end of the story of L. Ron Hubbard.
Don't tease me like this.
After the fallout from Operation Snow White, which we will talk about next week, we could talk about it now, but I think that it fits better into next week, because next week we will talk about the negative accusations and allegations towards this group, this religion, if you will.
Okay.
So please hold on Project Snow White. Operation Snow White's actually very interesting.
Are the 7
No.
little people going to make an appearance? Because you can't say the other word now.
No. Unfortunately. Midgets. So after the fallout of Operation Snow White, Hubbard went into hiding to avoid legal scrutiny and spent the remaining years of his life in seclusion, reportedly living in various secret locations, communicating with Scientology officials only through intermediaries. Skip ahead to the 80s. He during his final years on this non-Thetan worthy planet, he reportedly suffered from declining health, including strokes and other ailments. You're the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard. He lived in a remote ranch near Creston, California until his death. How the fuck, if we know where you were in California, how secluded are you, really? Like, true. They couldn't have just gone and been like, skicking. Got him. All right, let's go. Let's go to fucking Katy Perry's house. Try to get a picture of her cat. Katy Perry, I think was. I think that's Katy Perry's cat's name for real.
Would not surprise me.
In 1986, L. Ron Hubbard died on January 24th at the age of 74. Scientology officials claimed he voluntarily, quote, discarded his body to continue his spiritual research on another plane, which sounds a lot like, what was it, Mother God from that cult. Or even, what's his name? From the other cult, the big fucking, like the really big fucking cult. Something, Applewhite, Marshall Applewhite?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, which one was that? The Children of God? Was that Children of God?
I think so.
Kind of the same thing.
Right.
His death was announced as a Scientology gathering by David Miscavige, who we will also get into next week, who would go on to become the church's leader. Spoiler.
Shocker.
He was left with a legacy of his being a prolific author, first off, and because throughout his life he was highly active in writing, having written over 1,000 works, including fiction, essays, and religious texts. He's often promoted by the church as one of the most published and influential authors of all time. I mean, and Kim Jong-il had a 9-foot dick, apparently.
I mean, just because you write 1,000 books doesn't mean it means you just wrote a lot of books. I would think they'd have to be good.
Yeah. His life and work have been subjected to intense scrutiny and controversy. No shit. Critics accuse him of fraud, manipulating followers, and constructing a totalitarian organization. I mean, Heaven's Gate. There we go. We got the wrong one.
You know, so many cults.
So little time.
They all run together after a while.
Now, his writings are now known as source in Scientology.
Oh.
And members are expected to study his works rigorously. So it's very religious. Sounds very much religion, if you will. His image and philosophy continue to be foundational to the identity and operations of the church, with his teachings treated as doctrine.
Listen, you want to? I'll buy this as a religion if he rises from the dead. Damn it!
Right. Which is, I heard this whole new theory that like Jesus already did. The apocalypse happened in like the 14th, 15th century, because the world changed as away from how God intended it to be. So like Napoleon was the end, was basically like the apocalypse, because he took away a religious world as it was before, being as he like forced the Pope to ordain or whatever the fuck, not ordain, but like to whatever the fucking term is in Catholicism, him as like a holy figure.
Cantonize or no, that's
cauterize. That's the one. Or they burn you.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Cauterize, where they sealed up a bleeding fucking.
Yep.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Now Scientology's promotion of Hubbard after his death. The Church of Scientology celebrates Hubbard's birthday every year on March 13th with global events.
Do they have a fat man bringing presents on that day?
No, I bet you they don't smoke a bunch of weed like everybody does on Hitler's birthday. Apparently 420 is Hitler's birthday.
Is it really?
That's what they say. I honestly don't know. I don't know.
I would never.
I've never given that much of a fuck about Hitler to know his birthday.
I never thought to ask the question.
Easy to find out. Don't care that much. The church does continue to publish Hubbard's works, often claiming his teachings provide solutions to global problems. So very much culty, I will say. Sorry, Scientology.
Well,
sorry, Tom Cruise.
Let's be honest. There's a little cultiness in all religion.
Oh, 100%, because they're all fucking cults.
To a certain extent, yes.
Personal opinion.
Well, no.
Yes, Hitler's birthday is in fact on 420. See, Kyle blaze
maybe
it.
he should have smoked a little. Maybe he wouldn't have been.
That's what I'm saying.
Asshole.
Like, I bet you those videos would have been much less fucking, like, offensive. It would have been way better, or not better, but like just way shittier if instead of walking around to fucking seeking Heil to him, they're just passing around joints and shit.
Those speeches, very energetic, would have been more like Spicoli from Past Time to Behind.
9, man. Where's the schnitzel?
All right, so this is where we're breaking off. We're going to go into.
Yeah, we'll go into. I'll put it all together, streamline it so that we can finish it in 2. Because like David Miscavige.
Because we got to get into some of the craziness of Scientology, some of the.
I have wacky
beliefs.
I have. Where is it? We have a full. Where does it start? This is David Miscavige. Like starting here. This is all negative allegation.
Because here's the thing about, I have one particular, with my limited knowledge of Scientology, I really don't give a fuck. But there's one aspect of it that I strongly disagree with, which pushes it over the edge for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can believe in Xenu, the Princess Warrior, all you want. I don't give a fuck. Or, whatever. It's just one aspect of it that pisses me off that we're going to get to. So that's going to wrap up this episode, I take it?
Yeah. And lucky you get 2 weeks off because I got a whole nother episode after this.
Sweet. Yeah, because my next episode is coming up in 3 weeks, I guess. Oh, no. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. We're going, now, I don't want to say conspiracy again, but we might dive into the Diddy stuff and the Illuminati.
The Didluminati?
Yes.
Illuminati.
the underbelly of what's going on.
What's really happening.
Because I think it's fascinating. So we'll be back next week for hopefully the conclusion of Scientology.
Yeah, no, I can wrap up because like I said, David Miscavige is not less important. He's definitely less important than L. Ron Hubbard, but he's not less less important to the story, but in a way he's less important to nobody gives as much of a fuck about David Miscavige's childhood soccer team as they do about L. Ron Hubbard blowing up Mexican islands for absolutely no fucking
I personally
reason.
think that is the cool part.
And I just, this is when I did this research is the first time that I heard of it referenced as basically practice on that island. I just heard that he started bombing the fuck out of it originally, which I think is a not better for him, but a better narrative to talk about.
I mean, let's be honest. If we had access to big, heavy guns in a boat, we're blowing some shit up too.
Oh, for sure. I'm never hey, did you bring the fishing rods? Why? We have bombs.
Boom.
Why would we want it? Why would I want to eat a fucking a jackfish when we can just eat a goddamn whale? Aren't they endangered? Who's gonna know? Whatever we don't eat will be exploded.
All right, so come back next week. We'll finish this up. Then
After that, we'll do some other dumb shit.
And then the following week, we do a lot of dumb shit. So
hopefully there's not more urns thrown into the fucking mix.
Maybe my urn will be up there.
Oh, Gregory came late. That's the dog.
So the Pacabra has passed.
She will forever be on the show. I want to make her own little shelf once we
She is visiting Xenu.
Yeah. She's having burritos with Xenu.
They're saying, "Hey, you Ming-looking motherfucker, you're an asshole.
You piece of shit. You look like you got kicked off of WWE in 1982.
All right, so
you didn't make it through the golden era, you fuck.
Don't forget to check the show notes in the description for all of our links to our social medias. We have pretty much everything.
Especially if there's new people here, especially fucking Instagram, because I think I'm going to make a new Instagram. Because I'm pretty sure that they have just fucking clipped our nuts on our Instagram.
Bastards.
We still don't get shit. There's no engagement on our Instagram.
Have you ever given thought that nobody likes us?
No, I'm talking the same shit. I'll put the same shit, same hashtags on mine. I did the same video on both. Same hashtags, same description, whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. On mine. Got 3,000 views or something like that, which isn't much. Right. But did it on ours. They got maybe 100.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure that we're low key. That page is half-ass blackballed from Instagram. Over some fucking Jeffrey Dahmer memes. Eat my dick, Mark Zuckerberg.
Well,
I'm just saying.
It's all right. Fuck it. But anyway.
Fuck you and your jujitsu.
Facebook, Twitter, or X, whatever. TikTok. We got it all.
Twix.
We got it all. YouTube.
I think we have a Rumble account. I don't know if there's anything on it. I think I may have put some clips on there or some shit.
So be sure to check all those out. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, like I said earlier, head on over to YouTube, subscribe, and hit the notification. That way you can join us for the live recordings. Generally, we do these on Mondays, but because of death, we had to come a little late.
Yeah. Subscribe, comment, and leave a fucking review on your favorite streaming app. And out of respect for the passing of this sweet little angel that's now in this tiny little box behind us.
And if you go back pretty far on she was used as a thumbnail.
Was she?
For one of the early episodes.
I had her on camera a couple times.
Before you came around. I did an episode on Can Dogs Sense Ghosts.
Probably yes. I vote yes.
I think I used
Chalupa. If they're real, I vote yes.
I used Chalupa as the thumbnail.
She looked like she was looking at a ghost all the time. That dog lived in a state of not actually being terrified, but looking terrified.
Yes. So we will see you next week, probably on Monday, for the conclusion of the Scientology. That is,
as long as nobody else fucking dies.
That is if
inconvenient, rude.
That is if Scientology does not send investigators after us before we get a chance to air the second episode.
Yeah, and just in case Tom Cruise ditties us.
Well, you never know. He might hop in his fucking Tomcat and come blow us up.
I mean, Tom Cruise.
I mean, if he
I would choose him over Travolta. Tom Cruise is small enough; like he could pretty much felch you with his own body.
If he comes, we'll challenge him to a sand volleyball game.
You never met me. Oh, he'll come.
All right, we'll see you next week. Take care. Love you.